Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 12 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled Feisty. You good? You asked, eagerly leaning forwards in your chair towards him, but then remembering to try and play it cool and sitting back again. Yeah, he replied groggily. I can breathe again. Can't see real good, but that's not because of Hanny. You cracked a half smirk and snorted at his attempt at a joke, and then looked at Ida. Yeah, he's okay. Maybe an extra brain cell missing, but it's okay. His other two will do the work for him. You teased. I almost died, and you're in here throwing shade. Sero commented with a smirk. You're obviously happy you won. Where's Hanny? Aizawa, you said with a sly grin. But no, I'm happy you're okay. That's what's got me in a good mood. You thought, but you didn't want to tell him that. Oh, she's not going to get away now, Sero said as he sat up and rubbed the side of his head. Nope, he replied with a cheeky grin. Sero looked at you and smirked. Oh, Ida suddenly said. My sincerest apologies. I forgot I had to be home earlier today. Forgive me, I must go. Will you both be okay from here? He asked as he stood up and picked up his bag. Yeah, we'll be fine, you said with a small smile. Thanks, Ida. It is my pleasure, he replied to you with a bow and then turned to Sero. You will be okay with Yin? Hey, you jeered playfully. Oh, I am sorry. I meant no offence. I was merely... He stammered with concern. Dude, I'm joking. It's fine. Go. I'll take care of this lump here, you said, pointing to Sero. Hey, he replied in a teasing voice, and you gave him a sly grin. Ida then left with one final bow, and you turned to Sero. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get you involved in that. I didn't know she was there. Otherwise I would have gone the back way or been more alert, you said. Sero shrugged. It's okay. At least that's all over now. You don't have to worry about her, he said. I'm never worried about her. I can well and truly look after myself. I'm never worried. I just didn't like that you got hit. You said, falling silent when you didn't quite know where you were going with the rest of that sentence. Yeah, I know, Sero said as he got out of the bed and stretched. Okay, you're ready to go home now. Second time lucky, right? You smirked a little and stood up. Yeah, let's go. Before you fall asleep again, you looked comfy in that bed, you said, reaching for your bag to pick it up as he reached for his. Man, I was knocked right out. That quirk of hers is super good, he said, referring to Recovery Girl. You snorted with amusement and waited for him to get his bag, and then you both headed out from behind the curtain and he thanked Recovery Girl before you both left to go home together. On the walk into town, you both chatted. It felt a lot easier to talk to him now, and you even joked around a bit. Was it the freedom of not having to hide from Hanny? Was it the shared experience of both being subject to an attack and him proving he really wanted to help you? Was it you being on good terms with Ida again? Nah, couldn't have been any of that. You're a hard bitch, right? None of that mushy crap was you, right? Well, not that you're about to admit to anyway. You got home that afternoon just as the sun was setting and opened the door. I'm home, you called out. Oh, is that you, sweet? You're home late, your mum said as she rounded the corner to talk to you. Yeah, sorry, I stayed back a bit to help a classmate, but it's okay, you said as you took off your bag off your shoulders and then unzipped Sero's jumper that was still on you. Is it the classmate who has let you borrow that jumper for the longest time? Your mum asked, watching as you took it off and laid it on your bag. Yeah, actually, his name's Sero, you said. A boy? Your mum gasped. Mum, you deadpanned. It's not like that at all, but he's actually a good guy. Oh my, your mum gasped. You don't say that about anyone. What? No, you huffed. I say stuff like that all the time. Even your friends you call all sorts of names, your mum said. You don't bring them around anymore, but the friends from your old school, do you still keep in contact? You asked. You opened your mouth and then closed it again. Nah, you shrugged, stepping up to her and then walking past. Your mum watched you go, a strange expression on her face. Well, that's the most talkative I've heard from her for a while, she thought as she watched you walk up the stairs. She came out of her shell for a second there. You slept well that night and woke as your alarm went off the next morning, getting out of bed immediately and heading for the kitchen to get one of your mum's best coffees. After getting ready for the morning, you got your bag and Sero's jumper and then left the house, waiting until you were a little way from the house before putting his jumper on. You didn't want your mum to see and make comment again. As you approached the part of town where you would usually peel off and head into the bush, you paused, but then shrugged and kept heading into town instead. You had nothing to fear or fight today, and the front of the school was supposed to be the entry point, right? It was as you almost got to the school that you heard someone calling your name, and you stopped and looked back when you recognised it as Sero's voice. "Hey," he greeted as he caught up to you. "You sleep well?" "Yeah, you?" You asked as you both started walking again, side by side. "Yeah, feel really good today. No after effects from yesterday," he replied, and you nodded. "Good, glad to hear. I'm going to ask Isaiah what he did with her yesterday. Hope he threw her off a bridge or something," you said candidly. Sero wasn't expecting such a brutal response and choked on his own spit. "Jeez, take it easy, I was joking," you huffed. "Well, only half joking." I don't think that he would do something like that, but still," Sero said with a sweat-dropped look on his face. You snorted, the two of you entering the school grounds and walking to your lockers together. After getting your things, you headed to the homeroom, chatting again about something to do with the next class as you walked into the classroom together. "Dude," you called to him as he parted ways and you approached your desk. He asked, looking up at you. "When are you going to take your damn jumper back?" you asked playfully as you took it off and started walking over to his desk. "It's yours now. I don't even recognise it," he joked. "Idiot," you snorted with amusement as you stopped in front of him. You had held his jumper out to him for him to take it, but when he had refused, yet again, you pulled it back to yourself. You were about to speak again when Bakugo and Karishma walked into the room together, and you stopped when they both stopped and looked at you. At seeing you standing there in front of Sarah's desk, Karishma brightened. "Oh, good morning, Yin," he said with a smile, and you froze for a second. Sero, at seeing you freeze up, spun around in his seat to see if he could set the tone for you and replied to Kiri. "Hey, bro," he said with a smile. "Did you get a chance to do some reps last night? You were mentioning them the other day." "Oh, yeah, sure did," Kiri said brightly as he walked over. You watched him approach you and almost went to take a step back. You weren't scared of him, but he was just so bright, it almost felt like the energy shifted around you and you couldn't breathe. "Do you work out?" Kiri asked you as he stopped next to you. "No," you almost snorted. Yin's more into music, right?" Sero cut in, trying to save you. To him it looked like you were a kitten that had been backed into a corner and all your fur was up on end. "Yeah," you replied, but your word was so sharp it almost sliced Kiri, who was still standing way too close for your liking. From a little further away, Bakugo was listening in and scoffed, which you heard and you arced up immediately. "What's your problem?" you snapped at him. "You want to play game?" That malicious smirk crept back onto your face as you taunted him and he arced up immediately too. "What was that, freak?" he snarled. Okay, Sero said as he stood up and stepped between you and Bakugo. "Hey, bro, it's okay," Kiri placated him, quickly walking over to him to calm him down. "Oh, jeez," Sero thought as he shook his head. "Just when I thought that we were getting somewhere." Oh, she is a feisty little thing, isn't she? But don't worry, I'm very sure that Sero will be able to sort her out, he'll be able to calm her down, and he will be her connection to the rest of the class. We just have to wait till that all kind of comes to fruition. Stay with me for next week. I will see you again for the next 3 Sero chapters. See you then.